Coming up next on Making Moves, we'll show you why recent growth in and around Jacksonville's downtown makes it primed for JTA's new Ultimate Urban Circulator. JTA's Regional Transportation Center just turned 1 year old. Correspondent Vicki Pierre takes us on a tour at the facility and shows us some of the newer features since its opening last year.
Here at the JRTC, you can find Amazon lockers. You can have your packages shipped here and you can pick them up at your convenience.
Florida continues to lead the nation in pedestrian deaths, but Jacksonville saw significant improvement. Bill tells us how they did it and what must be done to continue making progress. Blanding Boulevard is one of the most congested in the Jacksonville area. Correspondent Eugene Lindsay reports on how a new JTA road project will help funnel some of that traffic to other areas.
Why it's so important is the amount of trips that it will take off of the roads around Argyle Forest Boulevard, Wells.
And JTA has launched a new testing program. We'll tell you how the blue glow is helping clean the air on JTA buses.
The return air into the cabin is purified or cleaned and removed of all virus.
These stories and more are all coming up right now on this brand new episode of Making Moves.
Hello and welcome to Making Moves. I'm Bill Milnes. Thanks for being with us today. I'm here outside of City Hall in downtown Jacksonville, where the City Council has taken a historic vote, approving Mayor Lenny Curry's Jobs for Jackson initiative that will provide nearly $1 billion worth of roadway construction, drainage upgrades, and transportation infrastructure improvements to all corners of our city. With details on the vote and reaction from Mayor Curry, JTA CEO Nat Ford, and City Council, here's Making Moves correspondent Karen Adams.
After several community meetings, presentations, videos, and countless hours of debate, the 19 members of the Jacksonville City Council finally voted 14-5 to approve a bill that raises Duval County's local option gas tax from its current 6 cents to 12 cents. The funding generated by the increased gas tax will provide nearly $1 billion in funding to tackle over 70 infrastructure, drainage, and transportation projects throughout the city.
When asked do people want the tax, they said no. Most people say no when you want to be. You ask me if I want to be taxed. No, I don't want to be taxed. But that's how you pay for things. And you ask the same people the question, do they want to do these infrastructure projects? Do they want their neighborhoods taken care of and invested in? And the answer is yes.
A major part of the transportation portion of the bill includes upgrading over 800 bus stops, a new vessel for the St. Johns River Ferry, and the conversion of the 32-year-old Skyway to accommodate autonomous vehicles.
When we talk about the Skyway, that's the past. We've been talking about the future of downtown, the future of this community. The U2C project is the future, and it needs to be in place to prepare for all of the downtown development that is already happening right now, and we're watching it. So that's what this plan and the U2C is all about. I think it's a sound investment.
An amendment to the original bill moved $132 million from the Skyway expansion into nearby neighborhoods. That money will fund the construction of the Emerald Trail, a planned 30-mile biking and walking path connecting a dozen neighborhoods.
We now have the opportunity today to provide the Emerald Trail with a steady source of revenue so that it may be completed. And 3, provide a transportation system that will transform downtown and the surrounding neighborhoods.
JTA CEO Nat Ford said the authority is ready to move forward with the Skyway conversion and bring its planned ultimate urban circulator to downtown, a project Ford says will take Jacksonville transportation well into the future.
we are prepared for this challenge, and we're just, now we have the green light. We've been waiting for this green light. We have the green light to develop what is one of the most innovative projects in the nation. And so we're very excited about today.
In downtown, Karen Adams, JTA Making Moves.
What a historic vote that was. Again, the Jacksonville City Council voting to increase the local option gas tax from its current 6 cents to 12 cents. That starts on January 1st, and the increase will provide about $1 billion worth of funding for infrastructure improvements over the next 30 years. Now, we have plenty more Making Moves still to come. We'll be back in Studio 1V right after this brief message, so please stay with us.
Hey, Dad, I need your help asking Jessica to prom.
Of course. Love is like the ocean. You have to tread the
Oh,
waters.
Dad, that's not the kind of help I needed. Hey, Jessica. Will you go to prom with me?
Yes.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care can't wait to share their first with you.
It's hard to believe, but the Jacksonville Regional Transportation Center at La Villa opened 1 year ago. Thanks to the coronavirus pandemic, the celebration was not the grand affair that was originally planned and that an achievement of this magnitude deserved. But with all that Jacksonville and frankly the country and the world was facing, a more subdued opening seemed appropriate. Since the official opening during those early morning hours of May 4th, a lot has changed at the JRTC, and some things like the pandemic haven't. Making Moves correspondent Vicki Pierre takes us on a trip through the past 12 months and shows us some of the new features since the facility opened and tells us how both customers and employees alike have adjusted to their new home.
What better way to mark this year-long anniversary than with a tour? And we have to admit, at 67,000 square feet, the JRTC is quite impressive. So come with us as we show you what makes this truly one of the best transportation hubs in the entire nation. With this new facility, the JRTC is helping passengers make really important connections. Thanks to this brand new pedestrian bridge, those traveling from the JRTC can safely get over to the inner city bus terminal, which services companies like Greyhound and many others. Now, if you're worried about getting here, getting lost and confused, we've got you covered with these high-tech digital signs here. You can easily look up your route number, the route name, the arrival time, and your bus bay. Now, by the time you make it to your bus bay, you are again met with even more digital signage. It has the current time as well as the time of your bus's arrival. But before you think the JRTC is just about buses, think again. The JRTC is one of many locations where you can rent and ride scooters all over downtown. Ever wonder what keeps this place running smoothly? Well, it's the operations supervisors. It's the men and women you'll see in those red vests. If you have any questions about routes or anything else, just find one of them and they'll help you out. One thing you can count on here at the JRTC is safety. In addition to having 24/7 security, you can also find JSO officers here from early morning to late in the evening. So we've been talking about how the JRTC is a transportation hub. Well, that also includes the Skyway, taking people to San Marco, downtown, and soon also to Brooklyn. Now, we know a lot of you like to order from Amazon, but maybe you don't want to have packages sent to your home and left unattended. Well, here at the JRTC, you can find Amazon lockers. You can have your packages shipped here and you can pick them up at your convenience. The JRTC was also built with the customer's comfort in mind. We are inside of an indoor waiting facility with comfortable chairs, places to charge your devices, and here's my favorite part. Just a few steps over, the Crazy Beans Cafe. It's not just coffee. They have plenty of sweets, they have salads, and a variety of beverages you can choose from. So maybe coffee isn't your thing. Well, good news is that you have options, because every Friday the JRTC brings the farmers market to you. Beginning early in the morning and going all the way to 2 p.m., you can find a variety of locally sourced fruits and vegetables and even get a custom-made salad on the go. So we've officially reached the end of our tour, but honestly what you saw today is just a small portion of what this new facility has to offer, and it is truly at the cutting edge of customer service and technology. Here's to a year and many more. In La Villa, Vicki Pierre, JTA Making Moves.
Every 2 years, Smart Growth America reports on how we're doing as a nation when it comes to pedestrian safety. They gather and analyze statistics from all 50 states and the 100 largest metropolitan areas in the country to measure what they call the Pedestrian Danger Index. Florida as a whole is the single worst state in the U.S. for pedestrian deaths and has been for over a decade. But this story is not about how bad we did on another Dangerous by Design report. No, this story is about how, despite coming in 10th worst in the country in the latest report, Jacksonville has actually made huge progress during the past few years with ideas like JTA's Complete Streets initiative and the city's new way to look at crosswalks. In the latest Dangerous by Design report, 7 of the top 10 worst cities for pedestrian deaths were once again here in the Sunshine State, including Jacksonville. To give you an idea of how bad Florida is doing, its Pedestrian Danger Index, or PDI, was 201.4. The national average, just over 63. But believe it or not, there is a little hope in all that doom and gloom. Jacksonville, which has been as high as 3rd worst in previous reports, came in 10th. And its Pedestrian Danger Index dropped by 21.5 points. That's the 2nd best improvement of all 100 cities measured. That improvement is no accident, literally. The improvement did not go unnoticed. In its report, Smart Growth America even called out Jacksonville for its improvement, saying Jacksonville has made strides in recent years in making streets less dangerous for people walking. Well, as it turns out, slower cars kill less people.
Going over the speed limit creates a higher risk for traffic crashes and also can lead to traffic fatalities.
You might be astonished at how much just a 10-mile-per-hour increase in speed increases the chances that a pedestrian is going to die in an accident. According to the National Transportation Safety Board, at 20 miles per hour, there is only a 5% chance a person struck by a vehicle will be killed. At 30 miles per hour, that chance jumps to 45%. And at 40 miles per hour, 85% of the crashes involving a person walking are fatal.
The reaction time for a driver is 1.6 seconds. It takes 1.6 seconds for the driver to realize there's a danger and to make a decision to take action. Obviously, the faster the vehicle is going, the braking distance is greater. A perfect example is this mid-block crosswalk here on University Boulevard. If a pedestrian is crossing, vehicles are forced to stop before they reach those faster speeds that are more likely to kill. JTA planner Jeremy Norsworthy says designing streets for slower speeds is directly connected to improving safety and reducing deaths. Things like road diets, complete streets, and better signalization all work to keep speeds down, making it safer for walkers and bicyclists alike.
So that's the first thought, is making sure that pedestrian and cyclists are safe in this roadway environment. And so those features like that, specifically, we identify specific areas like that have a high concentration of both pedestrian and cyclists, and those are the areas that we tend to insert those type of design features.
But it's not just motorists who have a responsibility for safety. Too often you will see people of all ages not using the crosswalk, instead trying to take a shortcut by darting across the road. That, say the experts, is a recipe for disaster, especially if it's done from behind another vehicle or a parked car.
And pedestrians, please use sidewalks well provided, use crosswalks, pay extra attention. Our #1 priority in the Sheriff's Office is to reduce traffic crashes and traffic fatalities.
Jacksonville has made key improvements over the past few years, but to take another step and forever get out of the top 10 worst cities for pedestrian deaths, it will take all of us making a conscious effort. After all, safety is everyone's responsibility.
Up next on Making Moves, we'll take a unique look at how the area surrounding downtown Skyway stations could be transformed into major activity centers, and how the small Parramore Road project could help alleviate traffic in some heavily congested areas on the west side. Then later, we'll continue our Art in Motion series with the work of artist Sharon Goldman. That's all next when Making Moves continues.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars.
Wow.
But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
You're watching Making Moves, the most honored transportation news and information program of its kind in the country.
Welcome back to Making Moves. What if Jacksonville's downtown was not like Jacksonville's downtown? What if all of the ideas, plans, and wishes for developing downtown were not just that, but a reality? What would it look like? As part of its Transit Supportive Development Plan, the JTA wondered that exact thing. So today we're going to give you a look into that vision to see what the visionary folks at JTA came up with on how the area surrounding its transit facilities might look if they were fully developed. Places like the Convention Center, Kings Avenue, Rosa Parks Station, and more.
The vision: downtown Jacksonville and surrounding neighborhoods. Vibrant, livable, sustainable, connected. With JTA's Ultimate Urban Circulator, transit-oriented development around these stations will create new and wonderful places to live, work, shop, eat, and play. Let's take a look at the highlights. Springfield is a unique historic neighborhood that needs small-scale and strategic development. 8th and Main is envisioned with a grocery store and infill market and workforce housing, like townhomes and small apartments. The intersection of 2nd and Main will serve as the gateway to Springfield by developing the four corners with small-scale multifamily and infill townhomes.
Other features include safe crosswalks, bike lanes, apartments, and neighborhood services.
Filling the gaps along the Main Street corridor will reinforce the backbone of Springfield. Moving east, imagine a new 20-acre waterfront park at the shipyards, converting formerly environmentally distressed sites to green open spaces with public amenities, making it a premier waterfront destination for Jacksonville and around the world.
Anchoring the waterfront promenade and parks, you'll find a hotel, apartments, and restaurants connecting the shipyards, UTC Station, and Hogan's Creek.
Across the river, two stations, Kings Avenue and the District, bookend the creation of a new neighborhood. On the expanding South Bank, vacant land and surface lots can be transformed into residential buildings with ground floors providing retail and services for the neighborhood. On the west side of the river, Brooklyn is a booming neighborhood that has room to grow with adaptive reuse infill development along Park Street and new multifamily development. Surface parking lots also provide infill opportunities. Pedestrians and bicyclists will enjoy enhanced amenities connecting this area to La Villa. And it all starts at the JRTC in La Villa, the epicenter of a regional transportation network. We're creating a transit-centric neighborhood and a new vision for the Convention Center. A place to arrive and a place to begin an adventure. No matter how you want to travel, whether by UTC, by bus, or by bike and walk around our new multi-use trail and enjoy the new open green space in the heart of downtown. Or make connections with future commuter rail services that will span across the region. With a legacy of transportation, Union Station is front and center with this new vision. The Civic Plaza is a place to gather at the heart of JRTC, Union Station, and the new development. This area will include an entertainment and restaurant pavilion, as well as a pedestrian-only promenade. Transit-oriented development will also provide new places to live, including market-rate and affordable apartments, condos, and townhomes. Neighborhood connections will be made with complete streets, including a variety of pedestrian and bicyclist amenities. Heading north, we'll travel to the reimagined Rosa Parks Station, anchored by UTC. A new vision for the station seamlessly integrated with adjacent development. TOD could mean improved transit amenities, an improved transit experience. Redeveloping the Rosa Parks Station will create a new transit-centric vision for downtown Jacksonville, with new places to live, work, innovate, celebrate, and gather in Rosa Parks Square. The public square will be alive at night and continue DIA's Hogan Street plans for local restaurants and bars, and reach to new heights, creating a modern, iconic skyline. New development will feature sustainable and resilient features, more green space and pocket parks, and connect Hogan's Creek and the Hogan Street cycle track. JTA's ultimate urban circulator. Downtown Jacksonville and surrounding neighborhoods. Vibrant, livable, sustainable, connected. To learn more, explore our virtual room for details on Springfield, the Shipyards, Brooklyn, Kings Avenue, and the District. Take our virtual tours of the Rosa Parks and JRTC proposed development, and check out the implementation strategies to see how to turn visions into reality.
Now keep in mind, these are just ideas, and as of this moment, there are no development plans in the works, but it sure is exciting to see just what could be. Perhaps it'll spark some fresh ideas in some local developers out there, and we'll actually see some of these ideas come to fruition. Now, wouldn't that be great? Well, a new JTA Roadway project is getting ready to start on the west side near the authority's Collins Road project. This project is also part of the Mobility Works program funded through the local option gas tax. And it will connect Parramore Road just north of I-295 to Youngerman Circle on the south side of the interstate. As Making Moves senior correspondent Eugene Lindsay shows us, while this is one of the smaller projects in the Mobility Works portfolio, it is expected to have a big impact on traffic for the Collins, Blanding, and Argyle areas.
A logjam of traffic is a common occurrence in this busy and fast-growing area on Jacksonville's west side. It's often bumper-to-bumper stop-and-go along Blanding Boulevard leading up to the I-295 Beltway. And the same holds true for this section of Collins Road as commuters approach 295. But now there's a plan underway to develop a new road to help ease the crunch of traffic in these heavily congested areas.
Very shortly, that road closed sign will come down, and we'll extend this roadway through that wooded area and connected with Youngerman Circle to our south.
Project manager Jonathan Page says this Mobility Works road improvement project will extend Parramore Road all the way to Youngerman Circle. The plan is to cut through this wooded stretch of land, navigating past 2 retention ponds to connect with Youngerman Circle. It's only a short 0.3 of a mile road improvement project that will go a long way in helping to ease the gridlock pains for thousands of commuters.
Why it's so important is the amount of trips that it will take off of the roads around Argyle Forest Boulevard, Wells Road, and Blanding Boulevard. And also, we had just visited Collins Road, and a lot of traffic is going up Rampart Road from Argyle Forest and cutting over this way onto Collins Road. So the more trips we can keep off of those major roads, it's better for everybody in the community.
Page says once the new Parramore Road extension opens, more than 12,000 drivers a day will immediately begin using this cut-through to make their connections and bypassing the gridlock of getting onto the Beltway altogether. A move that is expected to ease the traffic load along this part of Blanding, Collins, and Argyle Forest.
It provides a pressure relief, as I don't have to tell anyone how bad the traffic is on Blanding and Collins, and those 2 roads are infamous, if you will. So every trip that we can take off of those is providing more capacity in a way to that road. So the 10,000 to 12,000 potential trips that could be utilized on the extension of this road potentially keeps all 12,000 of those vehicles out of the intersections that we've talked about that are already over capacity.
It's a 10-month project that will have traffic running smoother in this area by the spring of next year.
It's a little project with a lot of punch.
On the west side, Eugene Lindsay, JTA Making Moves.
The next time you're on a JTA bus and you see a blue glow, know that that bus has some of the cleanest air you can have. JTA is testing a new ultraviolet light air filtration system that helps remove pathogens and bacteria from the air and then recirculates the clean air back into the bus for you to safely breathe.
It goes to the return part of the HVAC and then kills the virus as it goes through the HVAC, and then the return air into the cabin is purified or cleaned and removed of all virus and bacteria.
Right now, JTA is testing the luminaire filter on a single bus over the next couple of months. Then they will evaluate the results and test for any damage that may have been caused. If all goes well, JTA Maintenance Director Mark Benston says he hopes to have the filters installed on the entire JTA bus fleet, including its connection vehicles. Time now for another feature in our Art in Motion series, where we showcase the artwork on the walls of the JRTC facility and the artist who created them. Today we feature Sharon Goldman, who's not only a painter, she teaches the next generation of artists and has even written a children's book. But she says one of her greatest accomplishments is getting her art displayed at the new JRTC.
This was part of a series that I had some beach balls at my daughter's birthday party, and they were blowing all over the parking lot, and when we brought it home I said, let's just throw them in the pool, and they moved around. It was just like having friends. I'd look out the window, they'd group together or they're apart, and I just really liked the reflection on it and the color. Well, I thought they'd last a week. 10 years later, the last one deflated. I'd call them painterly realism. So I like to see the brush strokes in it. It's real, but if you come up to it, you can see that it's not like it's airbrushed. I like to see the artist brush in it and mix colors, and this one just sort of is so cheerful, and the reflections I like. I started painting when I was 8 years old, but professionally, I was in the advertising business in Miami for 25 years. I was an art director. I used my design sense from that to compose my paintings. I also teach art classes to children. I've taught over 250 kids in my home studio. Well, I taught 1 or 2 children, and then word got out, and it started snowballing, and now I also teach their mothers. I have a ladies class. So it's an after-school program, and I've watched kids grow up. I write children's books also, and I'm working on my second children's book. There's a Day Out There was the first one about getting kids out into nature. While I was sheltering in place, I needed a purpose in life. I like to keep moving. I don't like to just sit still. So I did 25 paintings this year to go into my next book. I keep busy. I wrote a musical with my sister also, so I'm all over the place with the arts. And I like to bring happiness through my art. And I appreciate that you support the arts, and there's this beautiful artwork in this building, this very cool building. I appreciate that I was selected to have it put up. It makes me feel very good that people are looking at my art.
And that wraps up this episode of Making Moves. We thank you for joining us and welcome you to check out our YouTube channel, where you can watch our past episodes and stories at your leisure. A direct link to our YouTube page is available at jtafla.com. Just look for the icon at the bottom of the page. I'm Bill Milnes. For everyone here at Making Moves, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.